President Akufo-Addo is courting the support of the United States of America to deal with jihadist groups from Iraq and other war-torn countries operating in West Africa. The need for heightened security along the country's borders follows deadly terror attacks in neighboring countries in recent years. President Akufo-Addo, who was speaking during bilateral talks with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House, says countries in the sub-region, including Ghana, need America's intelligence support to track down the terrorists. We will bring you that story a little later. Before then, the invasion of Sabon Zongo, a suburb of Techiman in the Bono East region by crocodiles that found their way into the community during recent floods is making life very difficult for residents. The large reptiles have been found in homes and drains in the town, and the residents can't seem to get them back into a nearby river, which has been their natural habitat. The residents say the authorities have also not been helpful in finding a solution to the problem. Anas Sabit has more.
So where I'm standing currently is an area called TAKORADI, a suburb of Techiman in the Bono East region. Of course, the people here are complaining about how floods over the years been affecting them. It's about 7 p.m. here, and after some rains that lasted for about 2 hours, they all have to get out of their homes because the place is entirely flooded. They are calling on authorities to come to their aid immediately by constructing gutters along this area to prevent their homes from collapsing in future.
So we are torn from Kamala Station, Babia Jenny for Sonuba Nababe. Ababe full stop or Babia if he dancing into now.
The rainwater travels from Tamale Station and ends here, so the entire area is being flooded and the people are still whipping out water. We don't have any help aside God. This is what we go through anytime it rains. We don't even know the whereabouts of our children. A community like Takofiano without drains. That means our rooms will be turned into gutters. We are all NPP members, so we appeal to them so that we do not witness what happens in Accra here. Tomorrow we don't know how the children will be able to go to school. All their uniforms has been washed away by the rains, including their footwear. So we are pleading for help. Please come to our aid. When it rains in the morning, you are unable to go to school. When you come here in the morning after downpour, you will see school children all over.
So all their hope now is on government to come to their aid by helping them construct gutters in the area to save them from, having their homes collapsing as a result of floods.
Our homes will collapse if care is not taken. We can see that the structures are even on danger zone. And our children are also heavily affected. We experience this annually. We are unable to even cook because our rooms are filled with water. Where are we going to sleep tonight? The situation isn't any different here at Sabon Zongo, also a suburb of Techiman. We met the people here whipping out rainwater from their homes. Our rooms are filled with water, and we are living here with crocodiles. So we have to whip out the water gradually. Our leaders have to come here and have a look at what we are going through, so they can help us, else we are really suffering. For today, We have to seek shelter elsewhere. We can only sleep here after 2 or 3 days. We are living here with the crocodiles, and we are afraid that what can we do? We only have to pray. They, however, have to do this with extra care because they say they spotted a number of crocodiles in the rainwater.
Right, so the people here are trying their possible best to ensure that they get this crocodile out of this place. It's rained for some hours, and the lights has also gone off. It's about 8 p.m. Here in Techiman, and they are trying their possible best to ensure that this particular crocodile is being taken out of this particular place. So we are following them. We want to see what will actually happen.
After some few hours, the people here are convinced that the crocodile has moved to a different location.
The
crocodiles come from a nearby river. They come here whenever it rains heavily.
The same issue may happen.
For the people here, all the appeal to authorities is to come to their aid before something terrible happens. We have reported to those in authority that nothing is happening. You've seen it yourself. We've been driving the crocodiles away together. Now we don't know what to do. Only God can save us, so you also have to help us. The crocodile may harm someone's child or even the parent. There are more than 5. I have seen about 5 myself. And we've also seen 2. We are living with them here, so we need your help.
We need help
as soon as possible, even if it is tomorrow. The government or those in authority must come to our aid. Else, all our homes will collapse.
Crocodiles in this particular river, they say they've seen about 5 of them this evening. So all they are pleading on authorities is to come to their aid before something terrible happens. This is Sabon Zongo, also a suburb of Techiman here in the Bono East region. My name is Anas Sabo, reporter.
The second test done at the Fiankwanta Regional Hospital has once again shown that the alleged missing TAKORADI woman, now suspect Josephine Payne Simmons, has not been pregnant recently. This is the latest from the Ghana Police Service. Acting Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, ACP, Bisfori, made the revelation to JoyNews. He joins us live with more. Thank you very much for speaking with us. So apparently there's a second test, which again you're saying shows that the woman has never been pregnant. Please clarify. Hello, can you please clarify for us again about this second test done on the woman who was supposed to have been missing? Right, we seem to be having some challenges with the connection. Let's see if we can try it one more time to say good morning to you. Good morning, Kwesi Fori. All right, we would have to try and re-establish that connection to him. It appears we're having some challenges with the connection, but So we'll move on and do some other stories here on News Desk on the Joy News channel. Or maybe we just take a break. We'll be back with you shortly. Right, so we're going back onto the phone lines about the case of the woman who went missing in TAKORADI, and joining us is Acting Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, ACP Kwesi Fori. Thank you once again. Let's try if we can hear us this time. Good morning to you. And what's the issue with this latest test that you've done on the woman, Josephine?
Thank you very much. In view of the developments regarding the case involving Josephine Mensah, the police went in for a second opinion at the Untitled Government Hospital. And the expert opinion report. What I'm saying is the police went in for a second opinion. The second opinion confirmed the earlier report by the government hospital at Azim. Therefore, a formal report has been submitted to the technical team investigating the case. And at the moment, we are standing by the expert report that she was not pregnant and did not give birth to a baby. And the police, in times like this, always count on the strength of experts. And our evidence decree and the criminal procedure code affords us that opportunity, to rely on expert opinion when we are not clear regarding some cases. And this time around, the medical director of the Untitled Hospital and a team of doctors have done a lot on this matter and have given their opinion.
Now, has this been put to the lady in question, Josephine, and what is she saying about it?
As I speak to you, team of investigators are working with her. Before even interrogation, the police did well by providing a clinical psychologist from our counseling department, national headquarters, and also assisting her with the head of psychiatry department at the police hospital. They are all there, to assist her. One thing is we have nothing against this lady. We are investigating a case to establish the truth. One thing is when the case was reported to the police on 16th of September 2020 regarding a case of kidnapping, the police assembled a 40-member team. We also made sure to inform the media, to rally the public behind us to locate her. And lo and behold, a member of the public located her at Azim. The police did not leave her there. We took her to the Azim government hospital where she was given, medical support. But when the family claimed that had stolen her newborn baby, the police went ahead to seek an opinion from the medical expert, where they concluded in their examination that she was not pregnant, let alone giving birth. That was disputed by some family members, and the police quickly, moved her from the government hospital to the European hospital, where even she claimed she was going there for antenatal care and management. The hospital also disputed that fact and said the last time she visited the hospital was October 2020. And following all the melee and the sagas surrounding this matter, the police went for a second opinion yesterday at the TAKORADI government hospital, and I think they've spoken and the police will stand by that.
So I'm asking that, has this been put to the lady in question, Josephine, and what is she saying about it?
That cannot be disclosed. These are purposes of investigations, and we need to respect that. This is an investigative team talking to somebody that we then a suspect, and those things cannot be divulged in the open. But at the end of the case, when we are done and evidence are used, we might take appropriate decision.
All right, so what is the next stage now that you've had a second opinion confirming that the lady wasn't pregnant?
Yeah, the investigators are working on her, to ascertain some facts. And at the end of the day, the police might initiate action through due process.
The police has indicated that the 3 persons had been arrested. Who are these 3?
Yes, following what we gathered, we are suspecting a conspiracy theory, and the police is on the lookout for some suspects already. We've arrested 3 who are assisting us. And on our next update, in terms of release, we might come out properly.
All right, so the 3 that you have arrested, will that include the mother and the husband?
For now, no news about that from the technical team investigating the matter. They will come out appropriately.
All right, so when next are we expecting to hear from the police again on this case?
Oh, very soon. When they are done with all the preliminary investigation, they would inform us accordingly. And aspects that need to go public will be given to the public.
And the lady, as far as you're concerned, is still a suspect?
Yes, she is a suspect at our release.
All right. Thank you very much, ACP Kwesi Fori, the Acting Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service. Now, President Akufo-Addo is courting the support of the United States of America to deal with jihadist groups from Iraq and other war-torn countries operating in West Africa. The need for heightened security along the country's borders follows deadly terror attacks in neighboring countries in recent years. President Akufo-Addo, who was speaking during bilateral talks with U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House, says countries in the South Bridge, including Ghana, need America's intelligence support to track down the terrorists.
We're grateful for the support that the United States government has given us in trying to deal with the virus, the COVAX facility, which America has been very strongly participant, and the support that we've had through the donation of the 1.2 million doses of the Moderna and the promise you've made that more is on the way. Yeah. Our target is to try and vaccinate at least 20 million of our people by the end of this year. The Ghanaian population is some 30 million odd. And I think if we can achieve that, we will then be more confident about defeating the virus in the context of Ghana. The other main preoccupation for us is the cooperation that we have to put together to defeat the jihadist insurgency in the Sahel. It's a major security preoccupation, and the G5 Sahel, ECOWAS, the Lake Chad Initiative, all these are the organizations that have come together to try and push back. I believe that's an area too where the support of the United States government, and it's important that we set out right from the beginning. We're not seeking military assistance in the form of American troops or otherwise. I know you've just had a bad example for yourself of what American troops in some areas can do. We're not seeking that. We are looking for support for our armed forces and for the intelligence agencies of our area, that they can be in a stronger position. Many of those who are leading the jihadist insurrection in West Africa are the people who came from Iraq after they were driven out from Iraq to Ghana. So I think that there's some information here that can assist us in being able to track down and deal with these people. So these are the main preoccupations that have brought me here to Washington, to try and discuss with you and through you to President Biden, and hopefully it will advance our mutual causes and also strengthen the relations between our two countries. I want through you to express my warm greetings to the President and indicate to him that in Ghana he has a friend in office and the people of Ghana.
The U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris promised to advance additional 1.3 million COVID-19 vaccines to Ghana to help fight the global pandemic.
Ghana voted in a free and fair election that demonstrated your nation's commitment to democratic principles and institutions. We share a view that all people must have a voice in their future, that our democracies are stronger when everyone participates and weaker when anyone is left out. We also share a commitment to global health. None of us have been immune from the ravages of the pandemic. We recognize our shared responsibility to collaborate, to share resources, to not only continue to address the effects of COVID-19, but to prepare for the next pandemics. And in that way, the United States is proud to be a member of COVAX and the African Union, and has donated more than 1.2 million doses of the Moderna vaccine to Ghana. And I'm proud to announce that we will shortly send more than 1.3 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine. Finally, we are working together to expand our economic relationship. You and I have talked about that briefly before we came in. American companies continue to ramp up in Ghana, understanding the significance of the work that they do there to America's economy, much less to the partnership between Ghana and the United States. And they do this also because they have confidence in the government of Ghana and the environment, Mr. President, that you have created, which allows for some confidence in the respect and upholding of the rule of law and human rights.
Now returning to a story on crocodiles invading Sabon Zogo in the Techiman. Joining us on phone now is a senior wildlife ranger Samuel Amponsa Mensa, the Boabing Fiema Monkey Sanctuary at Nkranza, north of the North East region. Good morning to you, sir. So, are you aware of this crocodile story?
Yes. I saw your publication 4 or 5 days ago.
All right. So, is it strange that the crocodiles will make their way into the community each time it rains?
That is what they are telling me. But what I know is that the crocodiles, they are nocturnal species that moves out in the night for feeding. And they can travel up to 5-6 miles for feeding, and they make sure they return back to the river. But if something happens and maybe they are not able to return, then they find themselves somewhere to hide until the following night, and they will go back to the river.
What could happen that would make it impossible for them to return to the river?
Because they travel far away, and they are on their way back, they break. Because they are nocturnal species, then they have to get a hiding place because they don't see clearly during the day.
All right.
So wherever they will break them, then they must find a place to lodge themselves or hide themselves till the following night, then they will be able to relocate back to where they came from.
Now, the residents say it tends to happen each time it rains and there's a flood. Is there any connection?
Yes. When I saw your publication, I went there myself because I was asked by my regional manager to go and see whether that particular crocodile is safe. So I went there, and when I went, I was told it was captured and sent back to the river. So now that is now becoming abnormal that anytime it rains, they are coming. Then there is a problem somewhere that we have to do a research to find out. Maybe their home is being maybe they are finding themselves, they are being endangered at where they live. Other people are threatening their life, or there's something that is creating that problem for them not to live in the river, because they're supposed to be in the river. Because they are nocturnal and they are water animals, that they must be in the river during the day. They come out maybe to get the sunshine during the day, and that one is always closer to the river. They don't come out to the community. And now that they are leaving the river and visiting the community, it means there's something chasing them out of the water, which we must do a research to find out. Otherwise, it's not normal for them to leave the water and be roaming in the community.
Now, how do you get them back into the river also safely? Would that require the intervention of the Wildlife Society?
Yeah, without the wildlife, it's very dangerous if you don't know how to handle animals. Capture them. But they are very dangerous animals. Crocodiles are very dangerous animals. And we have a technique we use to capture them. So now that they have found themselves in the community, I'll be going back there to do my own research. Then I'll report to my regional manager. If it's possible that we need a rescue team from the Wildlife Division to come and rescue them, we will do it.
All right, thank you very much, Samuel Amponsa Mensah, Senior Wildlife Ranger. Now, environmental scientists is recommending the use of plastic tires on vehicles as a remedy to the alarming spate of road accidents in Ghana. Known as Utanipolion tires, the product is developed from special synthetic fibers that make it impossible for the tires to burst. The call by Kwejo Damwa comes in the wake of increased road accidents, costing the country 1.6% of its GDP annually. Prince Appiah was at his book launch and now reports.
From January to October 2020, there were almost 12,100 road traffic accidents involving over 20,000 vehicles. The crashes led to 2,080 fatalities and 12,380 injuries according to records from Statista. Burst tires have been identified among leading causes of these accidents on Ghana's roads. To address this, an environmental scientist, Kwejo Damwa, is recommending the use of plastic tires as a solution.
We just have to research and come out with such materials. They could be synthetic. And what happens is that if we are able to attain that level, why do you get an accident, your head hits a metal, and then you are wounded? There is possible that we will develop materials that when we use in the making of transport systems, for example, cars, you get an accident, your body parts hits, and so you have no accident. So these things are actually subjected to research work, and that is where we are lacking. We spend so much money into other things, but we spend less on research activities. So my advice is that if we really want to be able to do some of these things that are written down, then we need to invest. We appeal to the government that he should invest in research work.
Mr. Damwa was speaking at the launch of his book titled Extreme Future Earth in a Giant Knowledge Leap. The book examines countless concerns of the future of human society as it speculates numerous concepts. The book contains solutions to Ghana's environmental and housing challenges, among others. Chemical engineering lecturer at the KNUST, Dr. Patrick Boache, observed the need to give attention to energy solutions.
Now we scientists and engineers, if you like, are very much concerned about the environment now than before, because the world is now thriving and moving on materials, energy, and environment. So in our quest to looking out for new materials to improve technology, if you like, we should also be concerned about the environment. And in the area of environment, one may want to focus on aquatic life and air pollution and so on and so forth. I think it's very important because the environment or the ecosystem, if you like, is our home, and we need to take care of it ourselves.
The book also professes solutions to Ghana's education, energy, health, and cybersecurity challenges. Prince Appiah reporting.
So Kwejo Damwa, the environmental scientist, joins us live with more on his options on the use of the plastic tires. Thank you very much, Mr. Damwa. So I'd want you to explain again to us how the use of the plastic tires can help curb the road accidents that we're having. All right, Mr. Damwa, if you can hear me, I would want you to explain to us again how the use of plastic tires can help reduce the accidents and the numerous deaths that we're having. I seem to be having challenges again with this connection. We'll try and reach him again. Moving on to other stories, in July, Ghana opened its National Mosque, one of West Africa's largest. It is second only to the National Mosque of Senegal. Funded by the Turkish government, it is a replica of the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. Thousands of people have already flocked there to see the edifice, and its administrators are hoping it would become a sanctuary for tourism. JoyNews' Justice Bedu was granted access into the mosque, and here is his report.
This is Ghana's all-new national mosque, an addition to Accra's skyline. This mosque is big enough to hold 15,000 worshippers at a time. It's Friday and I've come here for Juma, the weekly congregational prayer for Muslims. This is the second largest mosque in West Africa. It cost $10 million to put it up. It is nestled inside Nima, one of the biggest Muslim communities in Ghana. Since its opening at the beginning of July this year, it has attracted thousands of people from across the world who have come in it to pray and see its magnificence, including even me, a non-Muslim. National Chief Imam Sheikh Nuhu Sharbutu is leading the prayer today. Vice President Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia has come here to pray too. The interior of the building is decorated with hand-drawn calligraphy of Quran verses. It is fitted with Carrara marble on the outside and it has 4 eye-catching minarets overlooking the sprawling city.
This is my first time coming here. I've been seeing the pictures around and then people telling me about here, but I've not been here before. So today actually being my first time. So nice. The place is very, very beautiful. It's very beautiful. Then the wardens, like, they are welcoming. They are so, like, cool. They talk to you nicely, with respect. Yeah, the place is actually nice. It's very nice, comfortable. Yeah.
I feel very honored, like praying here in a national mosque. Yeah, I really feel honored and I feel different. Yeah, I feel different right now. It's a symbol for unity. It's a coming together of Muslims here as one.
This mosque was built with money from Turkey. It has a school, offices, and libraries. It is managed by a Ghanaian team of volunteers selected from the Muslim community. Alhaji Yusuf Mahmudu Yaro speaks for them.
In the 80s, we used to have a mosque at Accra, the Rollins Park. It was demolished, and this is the replacement of the land. It's about 4 acres. So this place is a place that we are going to come together. There's not going to be any bad activities. It's pure Islamic and humanitarian that we can help each other.
The Muslim community make up around 20% of the total population of the country. This mosque, now a symbol of togetherness for the community in the words of those who have been here, hopefully will be a home that would welcome Muslims in prayer and a center for tourism for those far and near. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Accra.
Now, is your ball of kenke shrinking in recent times? If it is, then it is because kenke sellers are complaining about the soaring price of maize. They complain that a bag of maize which sold at 220 cedis last year has increased to 350 cedis and is now selling at 500 cedis. Now, the price has affected the price of kenke, causing consumers to lament. Jojo Kobna has more.
Grace is preoccupied with thoughts of keeping her business afloat. Lately, she does a lot of calculations to balance her books, else her kenke business would collapse. Last year, she took a firm decision to shrink the size of her balls of kenke to be able to make profit and stay in business. She took that decision because the price of maize has been increasing at an alarming rate.
5.5. 5.5. First, 2.2. 2.7. Biane, Scobeto 5.5.
This means money for 2 bags of maize can only buy 1. Grace is therefore being compelled to make another decision, increasing the price of her kinky.
5.5. No na kano jibe ni won ba bole. Edale la me yu aka ko mo ko le ba yu ba shi. Ba ko mi da 2 cedi be na bole edala wa. She le nye 4 cedi. No ko be ka yu ba ka so ba shi.
Many other kinky vendors have made a similar decision, shrinking the size of the 1 cedi ball of kinky or increasing the price to 2 cedis.
First, I come here 1 cedi ke 15. Si bi ane 3 cedi ke 2 cedi. No bi ane ko tele ke taste ba encha yuoyin. Ame yuoyin ke jara wa.
Me imbo body mami atoi. Because wo fe ni wo hi odin komi. Be na bole me buen 2 cedi say. Imi ke we fe no ko ma bole 15. Je mo fia money ba nye ekwe mo nta wo 2. Na kan man te mi abeleni ho fe she e won na kebe mi mbonyo e ko chuni no ne kwesa no shika ni ko na o shika be no ele e tobo e follow e won mi start 2 cedis me ko me pombo 3 cedi.
The impact is being felt by consumers. Some complained they have been struggling with stagnant wages, yet are being financially squeezed by rising food prices.
Then I get plenty for food and jobs. You can be now you on a well, I don't believe more. She I believe Jalani or Jala watch. Me inflation. What I could look by inflation down. What number of inflation and we bring when morning ya no 1p denche. Your man. On an offer. First, when you go to taxi, first short distance, 1 cedi I will taxi short distance. Then I will short distance 2 cedi get 3 cedi. No, but when inflation is high, it can never flop down. In your equation, I can have. Well, mammy, never know a man walk by the mammy Sunday. Well, be an coming in call where me come here 5,000. I'll be a beer. Be a law be a beer. Be a beer. Well, first, what do we say? 1 cedi. I'm all one get banku. Can one of you 1 cedi? I'll one get banku.
Oh, actually, I'm a phone call 5 crown. They're the same size now. The same size. Because only shaker. Because you're the accordion or so you're the Utiaka. It's bad now in the room. You feel bad.
It's very bad because the system is very hard and you're all struggling. You know, you can't buy KK last month 1 cedi. All of a sudden they've increased it to 1.5 to 2 cedis. It's very strange. So they have to do something about this.
But kinky vendors maintain they do not have any other choice but to increase the price of kinky.
You walk on market. No need any jalawa. Biana bele first ekotoku ko beska. Biana ke yo enyu. Eko beska biana enyu. Chef to mo biana fe no etewu. No ba ko ska baba o ba bele ko. Money ba telo ba pay money ba pay. Na bele biana te 6 million.
Antio Docho sells kinky in Bukom. She has, however, decided to maintain her kinky at 1 cedi. She explained this because her people are not financially sound to purchase it at 2 cedis. She has, however, reduced the size.
President ni want akane budget, want akeneke, angmeniano. E wa anangme no fia no. Wa bonu chumo ni wa yoko abele 5 million down. Chibiane wa abele ko 5 million. Wa yoko down. Kenke gbo mani. Ayeko ko down. No amangme money ba fe ni ke fe angmenu. Ka ke ba bia hu money ba wo le nka mu ba fe angmenu. No an be fe te wen.
Kinky sellers want government to support farmers to produce more maize, else it would impact their businesses and consumers as well. Jojo Kobna, JoyNews.
Well, research conducted by Soko shows that a bag of maize is now selling at 500 cedis at the Shama market and 506 cedis at the Dambai market. In Tamale, however, a bag of maize sells at 300 cedis. We're taking a break here on News Desk. We'll bring you business next. In business, Anglo Gold Ashanti has commissioned a training and rehabilitation center for persons with disability at its Obuasi mine to create an avenue to foster their participation in developmental processes. The center is expected to benefit over 15,000 persons with disability in Obuasi and its environs and in skill training and recreation. Emmanuel Asay has more.
The managing director of Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi Mine, Dr. Eric Subontin, handed over a training and rehabilitation center for persons with disability to the Obuasi Municipal Assembly. The facility will serve the people of Obuasi and beyond with training in sewing, leatherwork, fashion design, electronics, and ICT. Dr. Subontin says AGA is committed to extend humanitarian interventions to its host communities.
Our value of living communities with a sustainable future through the promotion of fundamental human rights and contributing to building productive, respectful, and mutually beneficial partnerships is in sync with our vision and undoubtedly highlights our commitment. Consistent with our vision and value intention, the social management plan focused on, among other things, the promotion of diversity and inclusion in our communities, specifically supporting sustainable capacity development of persons with disability in and around Obuasi.
The Obuasi Training and Rehabilitation Center was commissioned by the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah. He says such gestures should be encouraged in the country. He discouraged illegal mining activities, which he claims caused the Obuasi mine to grind to a halt.
Even the people around those areas cannot have good water to drink, and we cannot allow them to continue. I've given them a stern warning. We've arrested them several times. Some have been imprisoned, etc. But still, they are the daring ones who are still daring and going there in the night to do illegal mining. This time, we are coming strongly more than before. And the earlier they leave the place, the better. We can't wait for this mine to close down again, as it happened in 2014.
Reporting from Obuasi, Emmanuel Asay.
Over 12,000 rural women farmers have benefited from a project implemented by SNAP Savings and Loan Scheme. The 3-year project dubbed the Roots of Change is being implemented in Ghana and DR Congo. It is supported by Opportunity International UK with funds worth £3.6 million sterling. This was revealed by the Senior Programs Manager of Opportunity International UK, Lydia Bafuwa, at a client engagement conference in WA. JoyNews Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
SNAP Savings and Loans Company, with support from Opportunity International UK, embarked on a project whose shot to, among other things, empower women financially by tackling farming innovatively whilst addressing the issue of gender. Throwing more light on the project, Chief Programs Manager of SNAP Savings and Loans Company, Joyce Owusu-Debo, stated that the aim of the project is to focus on rural women and low-income earners, especially farmers, to access financial services.
It's aimed at supporting rural women. In our case, we're focusing mainly on farmers to access financial service. And what we did is to come up with innovative activities. So the way we support the women, the way we train them, the way we support them with various services to make sure that they are wholly empowered to be able to utilize the resources that we are giving to them. There is also a section of the training that looked at gender, both for their spouses and the community opinion leaders and for the women themselves, so that they all move onto a level what we call gender awareness or being gender proactive, so that together as a family unit and together as a community, we know and support the woman to be able to elicit herself, to come out of her own, to implement her skills and talent to the benefits of the family, the community, and even to that of the nation as a whole.
Persons who are differently abled were also supported in the project to be financially independent.
Because we believe that when somebody is disabled, it doesn't mean that the person is disabled in their thinking or in his or her ability. They still have that knowledge, that skill to do something for themselves. And we are looking at they being resilient, they being sufficient, they being independent, and being able to contribute also to life. And so the program focuses on them. We train them, gave them some support to be able to invest in some activity that will help them generate income for themselves and then for their family.
Roots of Change. After 3 years of existence, the project is coming to a close, hence the need to hold client engagement closer conference attended by some of the clients.
We take a break, but do stay tuned in. All right, so it looks like finally we have a deal, and the Ghana Black Stars would have a new head coach. Reku Ampofo is here in the studio with me. So Reku, it looks like that announcement is finally going to be made.
Yeah, and per our report, Milo has been in the country since Monday, and it looks as if everything has been agreed now. And the GFA says that they have a press conference today at 2, which is heavily suspected to be the unveiling of Milo Van River, just like they did for Sika Akono more than a year ago.
Okay, so what, at some point we're told that, well, it was going to be Milo, and then at some point they said, okay, the GFA, they can't seem to agree on Milo.
Yeah.
What must have gone on, and how come this time they've decided that this so?
Well, there are many stakeholders that this decision had to run through. Since the 3-member committee, came out with Milo as their #1 choice, that had to go through the GFA Executive Council and then go through government and then finally the sports ministry as well, because all of these stakeholders would be involved in terms of the paying of these money. So initially, the contract requirement for Milo was, I think, around $45,000, what he was going to be receiving as monthly salary. But there had been negotiations after going through some of these stakeholders. And so some of the money has been moved into bonus now. So I think he will be receiving around $30,000 per month. But if he is to be able to win the AFCON, he gets $300,000. And if Ghana qualifies to the World Cup as well, he'll get $300,000 too.
Okay, right. Thanks very much. I guess we'll get all the details at the unveiling, which is at what time?
2 p.m. and we'll be bringing you coverage here.
Okay, right, sure. So you heard it. We'll be bringing you live coverage of that unveiling of Milo Rayovac, or supposedly going to be the unveiling of Milo Rayovac. But that'll be for New Desk. I'm Israel for joining me for sports. Do stay tuned in to the rest of our programs.